I'm Harvey Koeppel, the Executive Director for the Center for CIO Leadership. Welcome to CIO Perspectives, focusing on key topics for CIOs. In this installment, we'll be discussing what the future holds for CIOs. Joining me are my guests Jeanette Horan, CIO of IBM, Peter Whatnell, CIO of Sunoco, and Ron Bergmann, Vice President for Information Technology and CIO at Lehman College, City University of New York. Thank you all for joining. Let's talk a little bit about looking forward. So let's start with you, Ron. What do you see on the horizon for the CIO? How do you see new opportunities, new challenges evolving?
Sure. I think in the academic world, it's going to be around mobility and social types of things. Everybody's using social, so the issue is how can we leverage it so that we can improve our marketing and our communication to students, faculty, and staff. The challenges are tremendous there. The tools to manage both as a consumer and as a business will evolve, and so I think it's actually a tremendous business opportunity.
Sure, absolutely. Peter, from Sunoco's perspective, what do you see?
I think that the challenge as always is how do you continue to be relevant? And I don't think there's a glib one-size-fits answer to all. I think the question is going to be how well do we as leaders understand the market that our company is operating in and how our company chooses to win in that market. And I've always said to people, you need to be able to describe in 30 seconds or less how your company makes money. The answer isn't we're a retailer or we're in insurance, because there's bunches of people in retailing, there's bunches of people in insurance. Why is it that customers give you that money rather than Walmart or Target?
Sure.
And if you're able to do that, then you understand what are the touch points that really matter and how IT can be used in those touch points. So that really shapes what your role is, and that's how you can execute and then become relevant. And it's as much understanding what not to do as it is to what you should be doing. Mm-hmm. So the challenge is going to be, I think, how do you redefine your role in a way that's still relevant to your business as they evolve, but not forgetting there's a whole bunch of things below the waterline.
Sure.
That if you don't do well, they'll complain about.
That's right, sure, that's right. So I love your word relevance. I think that's really key. And in particular, what I'm hearing is a transition somewhat away from more of the wires and pliers part of the role,
right,
which is now, of course, table stakes, as you say. That's got to get done,
right,
because that's what the relationship and the credibility and trust is built upon. But then it's taking those skills and transitioning them into business insight and leveraging technology to add business value is what I'm hearing you say.
That's absolutely correct, yeah.
Wonderful. Jeanette, how about from IBM's perspective? What's your crystal ball look like for the next few years?
I look at things through three different lenses, Harvey. And the first one is really what you were just talking about, which is the area of business transformation. What I see going forward is that the demand from the business is going to accelerate. They want more transformation projects and they want them done more quickly.
Sure.
Now,
that's a
great opportunity, right? But the challenge with that, of course, is how do you find the money within the IT budget to be able to support all of that demand? Which brings us to the second area, which is around what I would consider to be the core IT transformation. And I think that we've all been on a path over the last several years of doing more with less, right? We want to drive down the cost of running our operations, and we continue to do that. And I think given that accelerating business demand, we have to accelerate the pace at which we drive down those costs. Mm-hmm. And so that brings us into looking at new technologies, for example, like virtualization and cloud, how can we do things in different ways that allow us to deliver the service at a lower cost point. And I think that this is one of the things that really is a great opportunity for us to show relevance and value to the business.
Sure.
By getting more of that money to support the projects
Sure.
that they're all demanding. The third lens for me, it comes to some of, I think, what Ron was talking about, and I consider it to be workforce transformation. And this is the whole consumerization of IT, if you will. The expectation that our employees have is so different today than it was 5 years ago. around what devices do they use, how do they connect to the network in a secure way, what can they do with social media, how can they bring social media internally, you know, kind of how do they leverage all of the technologies that they're used to in their personal lives in a more secure environment that is the corporate enterprise. And so that's the third area that I'm very focused on, and I think that that's a great opportunity for us.
Well, great conversation. I'd like to thank you, panelists, for your thoughts and insights. Thank you, our viewers, for watching, and please be sure to join us next time.